Bonjour. ¿Cómo se va? Welcome to another episode.
¿Cómo ça va?
¿Cómo se va? Welcome to another episode of Truth Carpet with your besties. I am Yaski's here with my bestie, Monie.
Period, because I didn't even introduce myself. But yes, it's me, the bestie, Monie. What's cracking? Welcome to the Truth Carpet.
Welcome to
Oui,
the
oui.
Truth Carpet. It was so cute. Well, first, so the reason I did that is because I went to Paris, y'all. So let's check in
Period.
with our people. Yes, I went to Paris and I said some of the stuff that I'm used to Moni saying to me, not knowing what it means, but it was working. It was working. I had such a great time. My skin is really glowing, like you and Priscilla said. Oh my gosh.
Yes, glowing, glowing.
Yes, it was so cold over there, but I made sure I had my little hat if you're watching. And my coat, like my little French coat, the things that I see them wearing on the internet. But I had a really good time. I went with my mom and my nephew. And one thing about me, I don't mind being a tourist. I know some people that go to places and they want to blend in. They want to, not stand out. I don't care if I stand out. I am an American here enjoying my croissants and enjoying the Eiffel Tower, taking mad pictures with my selfie stick. Okay, I was out there on the
Oh,
red big bus.
torch the stick out.
Yes, I enjoyed my time, and we also went to London, and I got some fudge
Yeah,
back
you
from
gotta have a
London.
show and tell.
Yes, I got some fudge and I got some tea and all those other things too. I don't really have like which one was the best or what was the greatest thing. I can tell you the best food. The best food that I had in Paris, aside from the macaroons, was the escargot, baby. When a man said 6 or 12, I said 6, but I should have said 12. 12 snails for me. It was so good. It was so delicious. Like, I need to find a restaurant in Jersey or New York that has escargot that good. And then the food was so fresh. Like, I've heard people talk about it before, like, oh, American food. I'd be like, shut up. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear. But now I understand. The only thing I missed was our seasonings, like having the oomph of the flavor and everything. We had ravioli, and that was the first time ever that I'm adding salt and pepper to my food. Like here, I don't add. I'm not the person that's like pass me the salt and pepper, but there I did add a little bit just because I needed a little bit of a kick of seasoning in Paris. But other than that, like you can sit and eat your whole meal and then walk right after. In America, I'd be like, I need a minute. I feel full. No, I never felt full. Never bloated the whole trip. I was never bloated, but it was a great time. And then in Paris, my best thing, I guess, if I had to pick something, it would be climbing the Eiffel Tower. I didn't get to ascend the whole time, but we did go up 300 something flights. My mom said 370 something, I think, steps just to get to the first
Wait,
level.
flight?
No, not flights, steps just to get to the first level. And there's the first level, second, and the top. I would have gone to the top, but my nephew was afraid of heights. And then also, with that aside, we also got there late when it was about to close. So by the time we got there and we're trying to figure out how to get back down, the people that worked there were coming up and telling us we had to go. But that was high enough. Like when I show you the video of how high, you're gonna be like, that was the first floor. Yes, that was the first floor. So that was my greatest. The Eiffel Tower was the greatest for Paris. And then for London, it was just feeling like I'm rich. I spent most of my money in Paris, but just London, looking around, seeing the castles. Like if you know me, I'm a girly girl. I like princess stuff. When I win games, when I'm playing with my partner on playing games on my phone, I'm like, yeah, call me the queen. And then my mom's friends call me queen sometimes. Like that's me. So seeing castles and like royal stuff and things like that was so beautiful and breathtaking. And their mall was like marble floors, marble walls, like just so beautiful at the mall. It was so nice. And when we went there, I dressed in a Nike sweats and my baseball cap and just like, cause I didn't know where we were going. They're like, oh, let's go to Harrods. I'm like, okay, because people say to go there. I went there. I said, oh, I'm not dressed apart, but this is nice. I was so excited to go into the Hermes store and a Montclair and see that stuff in person. Cause shopping here unless you want to find it in New York or something, I'm shopping online, I'm looking online. So to actually see it in store in person, those stores, like I see Gucci, I see Louis Vuitton, I see like certain stores in Jersey often, but the stores that were there, I was like, I've heard of this, but I've never seen it in person. So unless it was a knockoff somebody had. But it was just really, really, really nice. And the favorite snack in London was the strawberries.
Ooh, strawberries. Why the strawberries?
It was so fresh. Like, and when I'm seeing it online, like, oh, why people excited to go to the Burroughs Market for strawberries with chocolate on it, woohoo, whatever. Like, I'll buy it because I'm a tourist, right? Bro, it was so good. Me and Jordan kept getting strawberries. Every time we saw somebody selling strawberries, we kept getting strawberries. And every time he saw crepes, he kept getting crepes. Like, it's the food, the shopping, just walking around, getting 20,000 steps in was amazing. So I feel like I got the break that I talked about last episode that I needed. I got the break that I needed, and I'm happy to be back home. So yeah,
Yes, I love that. Shout out to traveling, getting the break, the getaway that you needed, being in a new place, being around a new culture, tasting different foods. I love that.
bonjour,
I love
oui
love.
oui.
It makes me wish I kept up with my Duolingo. Dude, I gave up Duolingo maybe about I don't know, maybe a month ago, and I was like, I couldn't keep up with it no more. Too many other things that I have to do, and I'm like, those 10 minutes that I'll be spending on my French lesson is 10 minutes I need to put towards my homework.
Yeah,
Working on this doctorate. It ain't for the weak. But yes, I love hearing your experience and how excited it makes you. It makes me excited to want to go because I have not been to Europe yet. I've not been to London or Paris, so it's definitely on my list of places to go one day. But shoot, you talking about your trip, and I'm like, dang, I look forward to my next trip. I can't wait. It's so funny you going somewhere and then turn around and now Moni's leaving to go
yep,
somewhere.
yep.
I'll be talking about my experience of my trip. So I'm excited about that. But I can say, as far as for me checking in, I have been a lot more consistent with, just being mindful about my health and being more consistent about working out. I've been trying to be more consistent with my steps during the day. Shout out to my job because we got this challenge with all of my coworkers for March Wellness. Well, we need to get a certain amount of steps a day. It's a competition, so we've been stepping. But also in regards to that, keeping me mindful of just like the calories that I'm burning, the steps that I'm taking in a day. The more steps that I'm taking, the more I'm active throughout the day. So I've started running a little more. I've been trying to make sure I do it every Sunday. So 2 weeks in a row, I've done it. And I told Yaya this morning, I said, even if it's a little sprinkle or a little drizzle, I'm gonna still get that run in for the day. So as long as it's not pouring cats and dogs outside, I'm definitely gonna get my run in. And I've definitely started reading again. I know I said last episode I wanted to get back more into doing things that make me happy. So during my commute to and from work, I got my book and I'm reading. Sometimes I'm only able to get in a few pages, but I just enjoy the fact that I've been able to just tap in just a little bit, doing things that actually makes me feel good because life has been stressful. Like, I've been talking to a lot of different people, and for whatever reason, the entire month of March has just felt draining. Like, I love me some March. March is my birthday month, but also realizing like March is like that close of winter into spring, and I
Yeah,
think you could literally feel like that transition of like being in that hibernation and seeing the sun starting to come out and warm up. Like, March was tiring for a lot of people. And a lot of people can attest to just like a lot of different things that fed into that tiredness, that fatigue. Not even just the time change, just a bunch of things that's going on in the world at the same time. People dealing with personal issues, family issues, work, just a bunch of different things happening at once. Like, yes, these things happen all the time, but it just seemed like in March it was an overload for whatever reason. So I am thankful that, we're now in this transition of starting fresh, starting new. Spring is here, the sun is out a little longer, flowers are blooming. I'm looking forward to, taking my longer walks, taking my pictures. I love me some scenic photography, the sky, the trees, the parks, the flowers. I'm looking forward to that. And I must also say, I don't go grocery shopping as often as I used to, but I didn't realize how expensive eggs were until I saw a lady hustling eggs on the corner the other day at the park. I
So
was
you
like,
saw it.
I should have took a picture of her. She was literally slanging eggs. She was slanging eggs on the corner by the park, and I was like, "This lady is out here slanging fresh eggs. Eggs
I
are
thought it was
expensive."
a joke. I thought it
Oh,
was a joke.
it's not
No,
a
no, no,
joke.
no. I know that the eggs are more expensive because I saw myself a carton of eggs costing $10. But I thought the joke of like put like one egg, like how they sell Lucy's for cigarettes. I thought that was a joke on Instagram, but people are actually doing it.
Lady was really out there slanging eggs, getting her money with them fresh
That's
eggs
crazy, but smart.
from where she got them from. I don't know if she got a farm or what, her own chicken coop in her backyard. She was selling them eggs. Like maybe I haven't realized it because I really don't buy eggs like that. And if anything, I'm probably buying egg whites.
Hmm.
But I was like, wow, people really out here hustling eggs.
And the thing with that, the price of French toast, lasagna, cakes, all these things that have eggs in it is about to go up at restaurants.
Right. I would have never started that. First it was chickens. It was chicken. Now it's the eggs. And eggs
Yep,
come from chicken.
yep. I was like, God dang! When I saw the price, because I'm a Trader Joe's girl. So when I see my Trader Joe's price is low, but me and my mom were at Shoprite, and we walked by, and I was like, God dang! Like $9 and some change for eggs that used to cost $5 and some change.
Mm-hmm. That
I
price
didn't
has
know.
up, up, up,
Yeah.
up, up. So I'm just like, whoo. Yeah, it's definitely feeling like we about to. I keep seeing posts like we about to be in a recession. We about to be in a recession. How to prepare yourself for a recession? What you need to do? Recession, recession, recession. So it's just kind of like, which kind of turn is the world going to take now? To be an American. So just seeing the turn that life is going to take, but at the same time, we just have to keep moving forward and doing what we need to do to live our best life. That's why I'm saying I'm going to continue feeding myself with things that make me happy because at the end of the day, there's always going to be something in the outside world that try to throw me off my balance. Like, what is going on?
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm.
So, that's my little update, my little tidbit, some things that's been happening in the world today. And if you don't have
Yeah.
anything else to add, cool. I can go ahead and jump into the rundown.
Well, I just wanted to relate with you about the working out and eating and cleaning and stuff like that. So that's the same kick that I'm on. And I think I said it before about being excited for the warmth, being able to go for walks and just enjoy outside. So I think we're both on the same page with that. So if I can find my Apple Watch, you'll see the steps that I'm getting in.
Take your butt to the gym until you find it. Don't be like, I couldn't find my watch, so I didn't. No, you go anyway, and and when you find your watch, you put it on.
I went Wednesday, which is the last time I remember having my watch. Then I went Saturday, which was yesterday, and then I went today. Well, I didn't go to the gym today. I did the and eight fitness, the dancing in my living room. So I'm still working out. It just sucks. Like I feel like the watch is like, okay, I did do something, sometimes when you feel like you ain't do nothing, but I'm just gonna have to have that happiness for myself without seeing the numbers.
Absolutely, have it with that progress that you make. When you look in the mirror, you're like, damn.
Where
I was looking in the mirror the other day and I was like, look at my butt. Summertime fine is on the way. So yeah, I'm excited to continue with this regimen I got going. It's gonna be a good summer. Summertime fine, feeling divine.
oh my
Right
gosh.
on time. Alrighty, so with that being our check in. I'm now going to go into our rundown for this here episode. So, yes, this is season 6, episode 3. And then going into our icebreaker, we're going to be talking about changing our name. If we could change it, what would it be? I think this is going to be interesting to see what our answers will be. I'm excited about this one. Then heading on over into Suite 223, it's going to be me, Monie, giving y'all some poetry for your ears, for your mind, to get you right. So make sure you tune in to see what I'm flowing with. Then heading on over into the CAF, we have our S fam coming back to the Truth Cover for a second time. CAU alumni, Dr. Clinton, our girl PC, coming in to talk with us about Botox, baby. Okay, the benefits, the things to look out for. What is Botox? Why are we getting Botox? Do we need Botox? So tune in about Botox to see if you're gonna get Botox. Okay, then heading on over to the dorm story, we have a few experiences about people that have gotten Botox and their experience with that. And then make sure you tune in all the way until the end so that you do not miss out on anything LoveLoudd has for you in the announcement segments. Okay? All right. Ran it down, did what needed to be done, and now we can. Oh, I was gonna say begun, but that doesn't make sense because that'd be grammatically incorrect. But now we begin to head on in to the icebreaker.
It's time to break the ice on the mic. Okay, guys and gals, we are going to do our icebreaker now. And if you listen to the rundown, you already know what it is. If you skip, I'll tell you what it is. So, if you can change your name, what will you change your name to? That's our question. So, I love the fact that people are texting me, letting me know what their response is. So, I think for this one, maybe on our stories, we can ask the people the question, or on our page, we can put this part, so people can vote what their response will be, or put a comment under there. That would be cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
can't hear you guys right now. So put your comments of what you would change your name to in the comment section on our page when we talk about this episode. But Moni, if you were able to, well, actually, you can change your name. You could go to the court and change your name. But I think I know what your answer is going to be. But if you had to change your name from Simone blank Loud, what would you change your name to?
I wouldn't technically change my name. I would legally change the pronunciation of my name. I actually love my name, but I always get asked all the time because I have the accent over the E if my name is pronounced Simone or if my name is pronounced Simone. And mind you, the accent is only there because the accent is on my mom's name because her name is Renee. So I would definitely just change it to make sure that people know that my name is Simone and not Simone. But majority of the time growing up, people pronounce my name wrong anyway. They would say Simone. And my mom would be like, you need to tell people how to pronounce your name right. Your name is not Simone, it's Simone. I used to feel like an ass because I'm like, dang, but that's such a small like adjustment to make. But as I've gotten older, when I pronounce my name, I make sure that I'm specific when I introduce myself. So emphasis on the C. My name is Simone. But so yeah, I love my name. I have the same initials as my father. So if I were to
Oh, I
technically
didn't never
change, if
pay
I
attention to that. You do?
yes, I have the same initials as my father. So I wouldn't if I were to change my name, it would have to start with an S. But because I love my name so much, I would change it just the pronunciation to Simone.
Thank you. Thank you for
That's
sharing
all.
so much. I knew that
What
I
would
knew you wouldn't change your name. I didn't know it would be if you would change the pronunciation, but I figured you wouldn't change your name. So, my answer is I love my name so much that I'm worried that if I ever marry, a debate between me and my spouse will be my last name. Why would I change
mm,
my last name? It's so dope. Like, why would I change my last name? So I'm thinking it's because guys, too, like the guys that I've had conversations with, not just like boo things or anything, but just regular guys, like conversations about how do you feel about hyphenations and stuff. I've not, like, a lot of guys say they don't want the hyphenation. So I'm like,
mm.
okay, well, it will be pushed to a middle name, but still, I would want people to call me Unique Love. Or if I did become a doctor, I want it to be Dr. Love, not Dr. whatever your last name is, because it can't be cooler. Um, mine is the same. So when I was growing up, everyone called me Yannick because you just take the YA and it looks like unique if you put the U. But
Mm,
my mom taught me I don't know if I was in high school, but it was definitely before college. She told me that my name is actually Yannick. So that's how I know where you know me from because the people that called me Yannick, I know it's college and further. And people that call me Yannick are my middle school and high school friends, except my brother. He still calls me Yannick. But yeah, I will definitely keep my name. But if I had to change it, right now I'm thinking Jasmine because I believe my first name was supposed to be Jasmine, and my mom told me another name too, which is why my middle name is what it is. It's not Jasmine, but my middle name is based off of names that my mom was thinking about. And my paternal family wanted the name to be unique. But for a guy, my mom said, "You ain't naming no daughter of mine, no boy of mine unique." So when I came out, I was a girl, and I think my name is very, very fitting. I think it's artistic, so that's why now instead of using a pseudonym, I'm trying to get used to saying because Yaya just comes out. When I introduce myself, it just comes out. So I'm trying to get used to introducing myself as Unique Love because that's dope. Like, that's a really
Mhm.
dope name. But yeah, if I had to change it, I would change it to Jasmine.
Jasmine. I would have never guessed Jasmine. It's so funny that you mentioned like name that you could have received because my based on the stories that I've been told, my nana wanted to name me, I think it was Sydney. Sydney or Stephanie. They were supposed to be Sydney with an S. And I was like, dang, I couldn't see my Sydney Loud, Stephanie Loud, Simone Loud. It just has a better, it got a
Yeah.
better ring. Mother made a good decision. I like Simone.
How do you feel
But it
about
needs to be,
hyphenating? Sorry, go ahead.
you said, how do I feel about hyphenating? My
Mhm.
last name?
Yeah.
I think for business purposes, I would definitely want to keep my last name because one, my last name is clearly extremely unique, very rare. So for business purposes, I would most definitely keep it. But I don't think I would hyphenate it. But as like my business license, as far as like what's on, I would still keep the Lao for my business purposes because my last name is in my business. I'm not going to change the business name because I got married.
Mhm.
So I would keep it in terms of that. I did think about hyphenating in the past. I'm like, dang, my father only has daughters. So like after us, that's it. So I've definitely
Yeah.
thought about like the fact that he doesn't have any sons. So after him, that's it. Once we get married, that lineage becomes something else. So I've thought about hyphenating. Maybe a conversation I'll have. I'll change my mind in the future. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm okay with it. But I definitely would keep it as the business name because that's it. That is my maiden, and it's already tied to a business. I wouldn't change it. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Maybe I might change my mind later. But I've definitely thought about that before, as far as like the Loud family lineage. Like that's it. There's no more men. My dad's the only, at least on this side, my dad's the only one. He had no boys.
I wonder
Yeah.
how that goes or what the options are because I did hear one of my coworkers on her license and her paperwork regarding clinical stuff, it's her maiden name, but then on other paperwork, it's her hyphenated name. So sometimes she's running into trouble because her business stuff says one thing and then other things say something else. So I'm like, how do you like? It's just a lot that women have to go through, or some men that may change their names too.
I keep saying Dr. Loud is loading, okay? And I'm definitely going to be Dr. Loud with two D's, okay? Shoot. But yes, I love the conversation. Icebreaker, yes. That is
That's
it.
it for
That is
our icebreaker. So again, leave a comment below letting us know what you would change your name to. Or if you think your name is pretty dope, what do you think of your name and why do you think it's pretty dope?
yes,
That is it. That
absolutely.
is
And
all.
being said, we are now going to head on over into Suite 223. Hey y'all, welcome to Suite 223. It is I, Monie, bringing you a piece that I think beautifully fits the theme of, beauty, names, our faces, our, mindfulness. We've been talking about spring from winter, just an abundance of being mindful about who we are, where we are, and where we want to be. So I'm going to jump into this piece. A walk, reflection, meditation of the mind, slowing down my surroundings, admiring each and every petal in front of me, abound by fear, a wavering admission of hope. While allowing the rope to burn my hands, I let go, realizing I've held on for too long, strong, yet visibly weak, meek, yet ready to speak, astride, observation, introspection of the mind, taking a moment to relish embodying the essence of peace. Disentangled with doubt, a nurturing tone, a safe haven, allowing my inner child to remind me to dream. Releasing the hold of opaque goals, ready yet visibly reluctant, reserved yet ready to be heard. A step, contemplation, soul searching of the mind, allowing the calming wave to rush to shore. Disentangled with negative vitality, a work in progress, a beautiful calamity. Perfection is absent, embracing the journey, admiring each and every petal in front of me, apprehensive yet brave, slowing down my surroundings, meditation of the mind, reflection, a walk, poem. That's it. That's all that I have for y'all. And that piece is called Mindful. So not mindful, but mind and then FULL, mindful.
Well, thank you for such a mindful piece. That's a real poem because I forgot the line because I'm trying. I need to start writing it down or something because I had a line that was stuck in my head that you were sharing while you were sharing your poem. I can't think of what the line was, but basically, in life, a lot of times we get stuck on what's not going well in any given moment or any situation. And it's also your poem makes me think of that meme or whatever the post that people put a lot of times. Basically, be grateful for where you are now because some time ago you prayed for this moment that you're living in.
Mhm.
So the part where you're talking about being appreciative of the petals that are in front of you and taking that in and not feeling like you have to be perfect all the time, but just being appreciative of that. So and I say that's real because you spoke about how difficult March is being for some people right now, and
Mm.
a lot of us are in that space of am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place of where I should be right now? And yes, you are. It's okay to feel like you need to take a break or slow down or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I saw somebody post something that said it's okay to quit. Maybe you're doing something you chose at one moment and right now that's not what you need or what you want for yourself in life, and it's okay to quit. That doesn't mean that you're totally giving up, but you're restarting for something else. But also the petal, I think you were talking about petals like on a flower, but you also made me think about paddling a bike and going forward in a journey of life and appreciating the trip that you're taking along your journry.
Mm.
That's what my reflection is.
I love that you call it petal instead of like a flower petal because it can still have that same, I mean, different connotation, but just the same um thing. I forgot the word that I wanted, but giving that same vibe of like moving forward, continuing to like pay attention to what's in front of you, not what's behind you, one foot at a
Hmm.
time, one mile at a time. Because for me, with the title being mindful, my mind is always running. I always have a bunch of things going on in my mind at one time. I often find myself overwhelmed with a lot of things that I have going on. And I always find myself in this balance, this weird teeter tottering of like the good and the bad. I'm so happy, but I'm also sad. I'm
Well,
hopeful, but I also have doubt. I'm excited, but I'm also very nervous. I'm scared. So it's like just balancing out these emotions and trying to figure out, but why do I feel like this? Like which one is weighing more than the other one? It's okay to feel both, but it's also a matter of realizing like, why do I feel this way? And it's okay to be nervous. I always remind myself like, if I'm not scared, my dream not big enough.
mm,
If I'm not nervous, if I'm not realizing like, if I'm not scared to take that leap of faith, that it's not big enough. I feel like in certain situations we should be nervous going into things, you know, taking that big step, taking that risk. Taking a risk, it shouldn't be something that's easy going into it. And I also often think about things that when we're in something, like realizing like we're in spaces for a reason. If it wasn't meant for me to be here, I wouldn't have gotten here in the first place. Like even sometimes um and like wanting to ask for that raise or thinking like it's not a good thing to want to like move up. Like I can't move in the space that I'm in. It's okay to go else and look for what I deserve in life. Like, but trying to take those steps, that is scary. You know, I don't know what's there. I've never been there before.
right.
But gotta keep one foot in front of the other, gotta keep pedaling. Gotta keep looking at the pedals, the beauty that is in continuing to, you know, move forward and strive for the things that we truly deserve. So, you know, regardless of anything that's going on in the world, you know, we have to make sure that we're maintaining our mental health and not forgetting the beauty in the small things. And it's okay to be scared. There's nothing wrong with being scared. There's nothing wrong with being nervous, you know?
Hmm.
It's just there's beauty in that, you know?
Being nervous, it means that your body is working, right? Your
Mm,
body is trying to protect you from the unknown. Nervous and anxiety is fear of the unknown. You don't know what's coming up, and it's natural to feel that way. A lot of things that we have going on in the world is taught, like
mm,
expressing yourself. You said going to your job and asking for a raise. We're taught to be afraid that somebody's going to tell us no. but your natural instinct is to want to ask that question. Like one beauty but frustrating things that my nephews do is ask, but why? But why? But why? They're toddlers. So that's what they do, but they want to know why, opposed to at work somebody say, like somebody told me, oh, you can't tell them no because we're going through like this change at work. Like if they offer you this, you can't tell them no. I told my coworker, ain't nobody tell me that, and even if they did, who are you to tell me I can't say no? I can't say no.
Exactly.
See? Oh, that's how you do it. No, I can say no. So don't trip. Like, follow your body's what your body is telling you. It's telling you it for a reason, but give it a little push. If even if it's not like a huge push, give it a little push and see how far you can go. But I will also say too, I hear what you're saying and I hear people say it all the time. I've said it myself. If I'm afraid, or if I'm not afraid of what's coming for me or what I'm going for, then it's not big enough. But I will also add, it's okay if you aren't afraid. If you want to take smaller steps towards that bigger thing and get used to it to boost yourself up for that bigger thing, that's okay too. So those people who may want to do something and you're not feeling that nervousness or something, that just means that you're become content or you're comfortable with that and you're prepping yourself for that bigger thing. That doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. But you may not see bigger
Absolutely.
results. Like when you go to the gym, you keep lifting 5 pounds, you get used to it. Okay, let's step it up to 8 pounds. It's hurting, but once you get used to it, okay, now I can step
Yeah.
up to 10.
Step it up. Step it
Yeah,
up.
I'm
Don't be
on three
afraid to
pounds, y'all. I'm so weak.
double. Girl, do more reps. You can keep the same way. Do more reps then.
Girl, I
Either
went
way,
to
you
the
need to.
gym. I was doing jumping jacks like this with the weights and like this, and I was carrying my bags in the mall. I was like, "These so heavy." My mom was like, "What's in the bag? It's not that heavy." And I said, "I went to the gym this morning, and it was only 3 pounds."
At least you felt it. At least you felt it. At least you felt it. That's all right. Baby steps.
Yes,
That is all right.
literally baby steps.
All right. We're bringing our wonderful Sweet 223 segment to a close. We can now head over into.
Hot topics.
All right. Because I was
That's all I
raising my
got.
eyebrows.
I think it's a
It's a
delay.
Lego.
Welcome to our hot topic segment, which is also known as the CAF, and we have not just an alumni from the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, but a returning guest to our hot topic segment, which is one of our closest, dearest, beautiful friend, Priscilla. Hey, Priscilla, welcome back to Red
Aw,
Carpet.
having me.
Of course, we have to have you on a hot topic segment because you're beautiful and we want to talk about beauty
Yeah.
and all those things.
Thank you.
So before, when you were on our podcast, you were talking as doctor, the dentist, teeth, all those things like that. But we have you on for something different today. So before we get started, because maybe this is somebody's first episode, they're like, "Who is Priscilla?" Or maybe they're listening because they know you. But introduce yourself to the people. Who is Priscilla?
Well, hi, I'm Priscilla, at work, Dr. Clinton, and I am a practicing general dentist. I've been practicing for 9 years, may will be 9 years, which is crazy. And so, as a general dentist, I do a little bit of everything to the level that I'm comfortable with. And then, if I find something that's a little more complex, I'll refer it out to a specialist. And I know today we're going to talk about a special topic, which a lot of people may not know that dentists are able to do. But I'm kind of excited to introduce it to everybody, and hopefully encourage people to do what makes you feel good.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so we just jump into it then, since they like, what is the topic? What is this?
What is the tea?
See, baby, we are talking about Botox. Is it injections of the face? All right. Dr. Clinton, let us know what exactly is Botox and how does it work?
So Botox is actually called botulinum toxin, and there's two types of it. There's an A form and there's a B form. A form is the most common form that's used for cosmetics that a lot of people know about. And the B form is typically used if somebody develops resistance to the A form. And so botulism toxin is a neurotoxin that's derived from a bacterium. It's called Clostridium botulinum. I like to do the science part, so excuse me for my nerd talk.
No
No,
problem. Give us the
it's
deep
coming.
Give us
Box
the
couldn't
medical
into the
tea.
no.
So basically, a neurotoxin is a substance that acts on the nervous system. And so the case with Botox is that it just kind of paralyzes the muscles that it paralyzes the muscle that it's injected into. And so that way it gives the skin that's over it time to kind of recuperate, the collagen to rebuild, and so wrinkles don't form because the muscle is paralyzed. But it's only temporary relief. Most people who get Botox have to do it every 90 days or so. Some people can go a little bit longer depending on your genetic makeup and how your skin responds. But typically, every 90 days, you want to do it for your aesthetic effects.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I definitely didn't know the scientific facts of it. I definitely didn't know you had to go every 90 days.
Yeah.
So thank you. Please keep giving us the medical terms wherever you see fit, because we want all of the tea. Okay.
I'm
All
Hmm.
getting excited, so y'all got to stop me sometimes. I can get very nerdy, so I gotta chill out a little.
we want that side of you, girl. Give it to
Yes.
me.
All right, you asked for it.
All right. So now that we know what it is and a little bit of how it works, who would be the ideal candidate for Botox and who should avoid it?
So typically, the ideal candidate is someone who's a consenting adult. You can say 18-year-olds, but personally, I think 21 and older. Just because it is a toxin, you want to have as much background information. And I think 18 is a bit too young because you still have a lot of collagen in your skin. So I
Mm.
don't see the necessity for it, unless it's a therapeutic reason, which we can talk about a little bit later. But somebody who is not dealing with many chronic conditions, so any like underlying severe skin conditions, any neuromuscular conditions that could affect how your muscles respond to the medication that's given. And then also somebody who may have ideal expectations is good. Just because Botox can have its limitations. So if you're looking for certain things, Botox may not fix it. And so that's something you want to talk to your medical provider about.
Mm.
And then also pregnant women, those who are breastfeeding should avoid it as well.
All right. So we talk about.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just for people who may be watching and may say, why did Yaya make her face like that? Because I think when I think about Botox, I think about women in Beverly Hills or like, trying to keep it sexy and no wrinkles and all those different things. But when you brought up people who may have deformities in their face, if that's even a word, because I've seen it before. Like maybe you can't control the side of your face. I remember I had a loved one send me a picture that they were dealing with. I forget what the medical term was, but he couldn't control one side of his face,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like going on for like a week or so. So that's why I made that face. Like, oh, I always think about just women in beauty and stuff. I didn't think about health defects or other things like that that make people may be going through and need that support from the Botox.
Yeah.
So what I was wondering is, as far as like getting the Botox, like as far as I know it's in the face, but
Mm-hmm.
like what would be the point of me getting Botox? Is it for like my crow's feet over here? Like is it to what? Hey, look,
I'm
okay.
not getting in my booty cheek because
Y'all
like
Y'all get
niggas,
Botox in
y'all
your
maybe
butt.
like lifted. I got dimples in my butt.
that's I don't think Botox goes in the
That would be
booty.
see, and that is why you
That's
got to
a
see
BBL.
medical providers.
Not you going to go get Botox and then turning around and giving the doctor your booty cheeks.
It's a cheek. It's a cheek. It needs to be lifted.
Wrong cheek.
Wrong
Wrong
end.
cheek. Where at what points in my face, sorry, does the Botox?
So it depends on what you're looking for. So most people will have like forehead wrinkles that they're noticing. We call this like the glabellar area where people get something called the 11. So when you squint, you start to get little lines right here. Crow's feet we develop too over time. And so typically around the eyes is where you give the least amount because there's very like
Mm.
special muscles. And like one of the side effects, one of the severe side effects that could happen is that somebody could get droopy eyes or they can have like visual impairments if you're injected into the wrong area. And so typically most people may get like just a couple milliliters of Botox around the eyes. Whereas in the forehead, a lot of people are getting like 26 units or something like that. So it's such a special and like cautious area that you don't give too much, but it works instantly. I've seen it in my experience, like around the eyes, you can see the effects right away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I definitely saw somebody earlier today. They were getting Botox around here, and I was like, "Well, what would they be getting it right there for? Like, what's going on in your face that you need it?" Right? I don't know.
It'll relax. You just have like muscles that insert around this area. So once you relax the points where they're really contracting, crow's feet literally go away right away because it's such a small area and it's such very fine lines. And so that's the good thing and that's why we talk about like the different forms. Like there's a preventative, there's an intervention, and there's a therapeutic form. But
Mhm.
one thing I learned when I was being trained for Botox is like a line at rest will probably stay at rest, but a line that is very faint will more than likely go away. And so that's why we do encourage doing it a little bit earlier. I do say, and I know we'll talk about it more, but people with melanin, we don't tend to notice our lines um, as frequently or as soon as somebody who has like a fairer complexion, just because it doesn't show up as much, with all the melanin. But the age of like prevention, I would say when you have more melanin, usually that moves to like the 30s versus somebody who has fair skin, their age of prevention is probably in their 20s because their lines are going to show up a bit quicker.
Beautiful. So, in regards to the melanin, how does the Botox react to our skin? Compared to other skin types.
And that's a good question. It tends to respond the same way. Like the science behind it is the same thing. Your muscles are going to relax. But the two biggest things that tend to be concerning for people with melanin is hyperpigmentation and scarring. And so those things are typically solved by one, talking to your doctor first, making sure they know all of your medical history, because there are a lot of people with melanin that may develop keloids or may develop scarring easier. So that's something you want to review first before you do this.
Oh my gosh.
And so,
I,
and even
I want a
though
keloid on my forehead.
right. And so even though Botox is not as it's not as big of an intervention as a surgery would be, but that's still something you want to share beforehand because it helps with the technique. So typically for techniques of melanin skin and in general, you want to do as few passes as possible. So you don't want the needle going in and out too many times or going too many places. You want to use the smallest and the sharpest needle as well because that helps with just being more accurate. And then after, of course, a person who may have melanin wants to be very, very on top of like the limitations. So after Botox, we'll typically say no exercise for 24 hours. You don't want the sweat to,
Mm.
affect how the how the material is moving around. No alcohol about 48 hours before, and of course 24 hours after, because it changes like the blood flow and increases blood thinning and things like that. No facial manipulation, so no facial massages, no facials after Botox because you don't want to move the material. You want it to sit in a certain space, and then of course limiting sun exposure after for 24 hours as well.
So I should stay inside, right?
Stay in the house, do nothing, just
So don't
rest.
go out, be outside turning up after I get my low in.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are the most common concerns or questions that you hear from clients who are new to Botox?
Mainly, a lot of people are just saying they don't want to look fake. They don't want to look like they can't move their muscles. And with that, I tend to be more conservative. I err on the side of caution just because you never know how somebody's going to react. And people are not always honest about their medical histories, no matter how many times you ask them. So I tend to go with the smallest dosage that's recommended. And then I say we always do a 2-week check-in. And if you want more, we can do more. But if we start with the smallest amount, we can see how you're responding because that may be more than enough. But I know some people that needed triple the amount in order to get the effects that they were looking for. And it takes time. So you have to give some grace to your healthcare provider and to yourself because this is something new, especially if you're just starting out, just to
Mhm.
figure out how you respond and react to it.
So the people who need the triple amount, because Moni and I reacted. Is that so? Earlier you said some people it may be best to start earlier to interfere the effects that your body is having. Are those the people who waited too late and now you need triple, or is it different
Yeah. I would say
stipulations?
I think they may have waited too late. And they
Okay.
and they were a person with melanin too. I won't say who they were. But they were a
No,
person
don't
with
say. We don't want
melanin.
to get in trouble.
Exactly. No HIPAA violations over here.
Right.
But I think it was more of like the forehead wrinkles, like I said, the line at rest. So if you have a wrinkle, even when you're relaxed, more than likely it's either going to take more. You don't have any. Your skin
I
looks
had to
good.
check.
Both of y'all skin looks good. But if you have a line that's sitting there, even when you're relaxed, it's going to take a lot more to get rid of that line. or that line is going to stay there if you don't want to do too much. And so that's something you have to take into account beforehand. But at least we know, let's start with the smallest dose. Let's see if it works for you. And if not, let's up it a little bit until, we get the desired effects.
So typically what people are looking to do is to decrease the lines that are in the face, right? Because I'm also wondering too, like the women that I see with the stiff faces, is that Botox or is that something else?
It is. Now, some people come in and they say they want the frozen look. They don't want to move their forehead. They want everything to stay in place no matter what. And those are the people that may want to just say, give me the highest dosage or give me more, than what the usual is. And that's their preference. Beauty is subjective and everybody has their own idea of what beauty's like for them. So more power to you if that's what you want.
Girl, that contract will be stiff too. Like right down that you said you don't want any reaction. You want to just look like a statue all the time because I don't want my license on the line.
I prefer a fresh look where it's like people look at you and they're like, did she get work done? Because she looks really good, but they can't tell.
Yeah.
My personal thought is nobody should be able to tell. You should look natural.
Right. I want to be able to, you should be able to want to blink. Oh, you should.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm like, did she blink? And did she? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Okay.
Especially in our community, like I keep saying, me and Monie are reacting. We're not saying anything, but we show it expression-wise with our faces. So I don't want, like, especially like dating and stuff, I don't really communicate verbally. I'm working on it. But, like, read my face. Read the energy. I'm upset with you right now. I don't want to be like,
exactly.
You can't tell. Are you surprised? Are you happy? Are you sad? Like, you read my face.
You can't tell.
See, that's where them communication
face all the time.
Okay, so you've been hinting towards a little bit in our conversation as far as Botox being used preventatively. So let's jump a little bit more into that. And then at what age do you recommend to start this Botoxing process?
Yes. So there's 3 forms or either 3 categories that I like to break Botox into. There's the preventative, there's the intervention, and then there's the therapeutic form. So preventative is for people who have fair skin in your 20s. And I would say like mid 20s, where you start to see those fine lines. You've had a little more sun exposure and you're like, hey, I'm heading into my 30s and I really don't want these wrinkles or lines to become deeply embedded in my skin. For somebody with more melanin, I would say you may be early 30s where you start to see those fine lines. And it's just based on person to person, genetics and things like that. Intervention is where we talk about those lines that are at rest. We see them, we know that they're there, but maybe we just want to reduce them a little bit, or maybe want to completely get rid of them without doing facelifts and other, interventions. Then we can talk about that. And then the therapeutic form is what I see a lot in office. A lot of people clench and grind their teeth. And there is like a joint component to it, but there's also a muscular component. And so we have something called muscles of mastication. And our biggest muscle of mastication is the masseter muscle. And it goes from here down to here. And so a lot of patients will wake up and their jaws are sore, or they're using a night guard and the night guard still isn't like giving them as much prevention as they'd like. So we talk about Botox, and when we insert it there, it helps to relax the muscle so they're not clenching and grinding their teeth as much, which is helpful down the line because it can prevent the need for crowns and root canals over time. And then also some patients who suffer from migraines, there's a temporalis muscle, and the insertion is usually in this area. And so if you inject it in there, the idea is that you can relax that muscle and it can tend to help with migraines, which can be caused by that.
Ooh, I love that. See, I didn't have any idea as far as like the migraine portion. Because I know some people that suffer from migraine, but I didn't know that there was a Botox for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also I didn't know about the, dental either as far as the jaw and getting it there. So so you're a dentist, right? She do Botox too, so I'm wondering, like, how do people know you do Botox and shit? They be laying there, you be like, honey, I see you have a few Botox.
So usually, it's a lot of patients, I think about 90% of my patients clench and grind their teeth. Because I'm downtown. And so what I'm noticing, a lot of people tend to work more, or they tend to be under a lot more stress when it comes to work or school. And so everybody comes in, their teeth are starting to flatten out. They notice they wake up in the morning with sore jaws, or they're getting headaches and migraines from clenching and grinding their teeth at night. Or their partner is telling them, like, hey, I can hear you grinding your teeth in your sleep.
Yeah.
So, of course, we'll say we start conservatively. In that case, we do a night guard. And then we say, hey, let's do a reevaluation, see how you're doing. But usually a part of my exam is feeling around these muscles. And even when they're at rest, these muscles feel so tense and so big. And I'm like, hey, we can relax those muscles by doing a little bit of Botox and kind of evaluate how you do.
Okay, because I was like, am I just laying in the chair and then she see that I got this wrinkle right? She's like, hey, it's
Now,
public hours.
cosmetically, some patients will just ask. I mean, flat out. They're like, you guys do my teeth. Let's see what else y'all can do. And med spas are becoming such a big thing now. So I think patients will just ask about it too.
Yeah, I was wondering too if it's a sign on the door because I know some people personally who get Botox, but I never speak with them about their experience.
Mhm.
So me, before this conversation, I'm thinking I'll go on Groupon and find somebody who can give me Botox. I wouldn't think to go to my dentist or a professional in that way. I'm thinking Botox is a whole different thing, maybe like somebody at a salon or I could find them on Groupon and go about that way.
Yeah, and I think salons, they do a good job at like advertising. It's all over Instagram or, TikTok, social media everywhere where people are advertising for their spa and things like that. But definitely, I think going with your healthcare provider, whether it's your dermatologist, your nurse practitioner, your dentist, because they have the anatomical training behind it too, that can help
Hmm.
with preventing a lot of mishaps in the future.
Nice. But is this something like, is this considered cosmetic for insurance or does insurance cover it?
That's a good question. So that's something we're working on in our office too, because a lot of insurances consider it to be cosmetic. But with the people with migraines, the people who grind their teeth, it has therapeutic and cosmetic effects. Like when you do the jaws here, it tends to slim out the jawline. So you get the
Hmm.
cosmetic, but you're also getting the functional part too. And that's the hard part is trying to advocate for those patients because insurances only see it as cosmetic right now. But that's where like all the lobbying comes into place, and talking to the representatives. But government right now is a little crazy, so I think Botox is probably last on their list
Yeah,
things that
right.
they care about right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's not it doesn't tend to be covered by insurance.
yeah, because I was definitely gonna ask that too. Because I was wondering, like, dang, is it expensive? Or can my insurance
Yeah.
a little portion of it? Like,
And usually it's based on the units too. So if you're starting out and you don't need a lot of units, a lot of offices will charge maybe like $15 a unit. So sometimes it can end up being like a treat yourself kind of thing. Because I would say maybe
Yeah.
around like 200 or 250 if you want to do to start whatever you're starting out with. It could be around there, but I would say on the low end it could be around 150. So if that's like your little treat to yourself, I'd say go for it and
Yeah.
see how it is.
hey, honestly, I don't see no problem with that. That's typical, like a little massage or like a little spa day.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, nails,
Like a
getting your
gift
nails
store.
done are expensive now, like massages, hair, facials, all that. Just throw
Yeah,
that in, add it a part of the package.
Yeah.
yeah, too. That's about the same price.
Exactly.
I think I think you and your office are doing a good job with trying to fight, well not fight, but like push it for insurance
Hmm.
to get it covered because if you've been listening for a while, you know I have alopecia and I used to go get the injections. My injections was covered by insurance.
Hmm.
I never for years had to come out of pocket for that because it's considered cosmetic. Someone could have just told me, "Oh, you don't need hair, you just wear a wig or whatever the case may be."
Yeah.
But to this day, I never got a big bill saying that I had to pay for anything. So if somebody's grinding their teeth, like I can't imagine that pain that they feel or whatever, like you have a weak muscle or whatever the case may be, why can't that be covered by insurance? So whatever the government is going through, I still say you and your team continue to fight for that or push for that to be accepted because if I can get a needle in my scalp, they should be able to be covered for the things that they need. Unless the doctor says, "Oh, you don't really need this, you just doing it," then yeah, pay for it out of pocket.
Yeah.
But if it's like I'm referring this or suggesting this treatment for them because of X, Y, and Z, we tried them off guard, we tried Tylenol for the headaches, and it's not helping.
Yeah.
This program may be more beneficial, then why shouldn't it be covered by health insurance?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Don't get me on my soapbox about dental insurances in general because I get
I
so
know.
angry. They just don't cover it. They don't cover what they need to. So yeah,
Whew, that's a conversation for another day. That's a whole
Yes.
exactly.
another
Yeah.
episode.
Yep.
Sorry about insurance. Okay, so what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's considering Botox but still may be like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say talk to your healthcare provider, and even if you decide to go to one of like the cosmetic salons, like go in with research. Do all your research. Present all the things. If you scar easily, if you bruise easily, if you have skin conditions that you haven't disclosed, um, and then also just set realistic expectations. Because, like I said, Botox has its limits. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done with Botox, but if you're looking to like do a brow lift, you want to like you got saggy skin, Botox is not gonna get rid of those things. And it would be great if it could, but it doesn't. It has its limitations. So going in with ideal expectations, like this is just something where I just want to look fresh. Where like like I just got a facial, but every day for the next few months, then Botox is for you. But if you're like trying to lift and change and cut stuff, then it may not be what you're looking for. And then just be transparent, be honest about what you're looking for, what's going on in your body, and see if that person can meet your needs.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So about these crow's feet.
What you need, girl? Got you.
No, I do have a question. I mean, not a question, but I just want to say thanks for the enlightenment because in my head I'm thinking about the negative things that people have said. There's
Yeah,
such a negative stigma around Botox.
yeah,
I remember one time I had a coworker and we assumed she got Botox, but all the stuff said was negative, like, oh, you see that stuff leaking from her face? Yeah, she got Botox. Like it wasn't like anybody showing interest in it or learning why or like
yeah,
making it normalizing Botox is always like a negative, like, oh, you got Botox or something bad to say. And if somebody does want to know more, it's a side conversation. Like you're embarrassed that
yeah,
you're even interested in getting Botox, or you're embarrassed that you even have Botox, or to learn from somebody that's in their mid 30s with melanin and say, damn, you got Botox? What the? Like, we don't do that. No, we
yeah,
do that. So,
yeah.
um, hopefully this conversation for the listeners can start to normalize that it's okay to get Botox and it's not a negative and a stuck up kind of situation for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think self care is a part of healthcare too. Like the more you take care of yourself, the better you feel, the better you perform, long term. And I think all those things are connected together. So thank you for letting me talk about it and making it known to all of our people who look like us and even those who don't look like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Because I definitely was not thinking as Botox as a form of self care at
Yeah.
all. And especially from my perspective of only seeing from based on what I see on TV with the
Mhm.
stiff faces, that's what I related to Botox. I've always related it to that. Like, why would I want a stiff face?
Yeah.
But also knowing that it can be used for preventative care is very
Mhm.
informative. So I appreciate you coming on and giving us your medical expertise, Doctor.
Thank you for having me. And y'all look beautiful. And also, I know we have a wedding coming up that we'll be going to. So y'all just let me know. I'll bring my little kit with me. I got you. I got
Yes,
you.
yes, I'm excited.
Telling you, girl, I know you see it.
I'm gonna just come with the needles ready for you.
Do it while she's sleeping.
Oh, please, I want to be awake. Matter of fact,
I need your consent first before I
Right.
do anything.
exactly.
Bring
Wait,
the
so
contracts.
that's Clinton. Have you ever yourself gotten Botox?
I haven't, but I will say I'm actually ready to now because I'm a new mom. I have a 2-year-old and I don't sleep as much as I used to. And so now I'm
Uh,
starting to notice like my little fine lines that are showing up. So definitely around the eye I want to do it. And then like right in this area, just a fresh. I don't want a frozen face either. But yeah, definitely just preserve it because over time we may just develop more stress, and I think it's good to start now. And I'm mid 30s, and I
yeah,
think this is the perfect time for our melanated people to start.
yes.
So I want to tap in before Moni say something. So I have in our whole group chat, I have the
Mhm.
least amount of melanin. I'm the lightest one, right? So a little light bulb. So
I
if I
didn't even
do,
think of it like that. I didn't even think
Right,
of
like
it.
what?
Yes.
so okay, you said something earlier for preventive care. You have to get it every 90 days. So is it like if I start now, am I going every 3 months to get it, or is it based off of my need? Like if
It
a
would be
doctor
based off
didn't
your need.
say, Yaskis, you need this, and I say I'm trying to do this preventively, like I'm before I turn 40 or 42, maybe I'll start it.
42
That was
specific.
such a random age. That was
No,
so random. Where did you get that number?
I don't know. But like, so say if I start there and the doctor didn't suggest it, dentist, a doctor or anybody didn't suggest it to me, do I have to like once I get that first poke, do I have to keep going every 90 days, or like is it going to be bad if I don't go regularly?
I would say I like to adhere to guidelines, but I'm always okay with coloring outside of the lines a little bit. So I would say if
Okay,
you do your first dose, see how your body's reacting at day 90. There are some people that can go over it and maybe do every 6 months. So if you're doing it maybe twice a year, but I would say start with the first dose and see how you respond. Because as you get closer to that 90-day period, your muscles are going to start to wake up. And so it doesn't necessarily that it's going to rebound and be stronger and cause bigger wrinkles. It's just going to rebound though, so your skin is not going to have more time to recuperate without that underlying muscle kind of stretching it and moving it a lot more. So I would
got
leave it
it.
at your discretion. I would say as needed, but I still like to adhere to the guidelines. So don't go more than 6 months without it, I would say.
Okay. So the goal of Botox, in summary, is to wake up the the muscles that might be not as alive in my face.
Well, to stop the muscles. So the goal of it is to stop the muscles that are moving. So like when we smile, like we have like all these muscles are
Smile
moving
line,
around there and we get our smile lines. When we are squinting and things like that, we're getting our crow's feet. When we're doing like this, we get these lines here.
11.
Some people they get forehead wrinkles too. And so the Botox it stops that muscle. It can no longer contract, it's paralyzed. And so your
Mm,
skin over it, as the collagen's rebuilding, it has time to just rest. And that way those lines don't develop. And when it's slowly going away and dissipating, now those muscles are contracting again, and their skin is kind of contracting on top of it, and it's causing those lines and those wrinkles.
got it. Thank you. I'm smarter today.
Yeah, bring that kid, girl. Because as you keep talking, I'm like, by the time we meet up, yeah, I might give me a little something. I want to try it. I just want to see. Why not? Treat myself.
Treat yourself, okay? A little treat.
I'd rather start now than 50. So let me see what it do.
Yeah, that's what
42.
I say too. And I know a lot of people with melanin tend to age gracefully, but I'm like, if you like your 35-year-old face, why not preserve it and keep looking 35?
Period. But yes, I love this. I thank you so much for the information. Appreciate you coming on again. Had to run
It's
you
been
back
a
as a
while,
guest.
yeah.
I know. It was like maybe 2 years ago. I don't.
I
Hey,
don't remember. Maybe longer. I think it's been longer than that.
hey, when you've been running for 6 seasons with the episode number, it is
Okay,
hey,
let us know. Let them know.
But yes, of course, always love speaking with you. Thank you so much for coming on as our guest. Before we go, let the people know just in case they want to come to you to, you might get into some new clients, some new patients.
Yes.
Where you located, girl? Let them know where they can find you.
Yes, I'm practicing. I'm at Downtown Dental, the River North location. It's inside of the Omni building. And if you want to find or book an appointment online, you can find me on ZocDoc, and WebMD as well.
Dr.
Yes. So what state are you in? Because
Oh yeah, I'm in Illinois. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. Sorry, I assume we said that. We did not. I'm in Chicago, and not
Yes,
WebMD. I'm sorry. Next Health. Our company is
Nextel
doing
and
a lot
ZocDoc.
better.
it's a Zoc
Yes,
Doc for me. Yes,
yes.
Doc.
ZocDoc is the best way to book because
I
you can
love
book
ZocDoc. I've
like
gotten so
appointments within
through
an
so
hour.
quick in a day on
Yeah.
ZocDoc. Highly recommend.
Yes, but that's where you can find me. We're always accepting new patients. So even if you don't want Botox, we can take care of your dental needs too.
Yes.
Thank you. Until next time. Can't wait to see you in person. It's gonna be sooner than later. I can't wait.
I'm excited
Yeah.
to see. I miss y'all, ladies.
Miss you too.
Until next time. Bye.
See ya.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? In today's dorm story segment, we have a few comments, experiences, opinions about Botox. All right. Shout out to Yaya finding these comments on the Reddit website. So I'm just gonna go through each one and then we're going to discuss. All right. So first one. You'll love Botox if you're going to an experienced practitioner with a good aesthetic eye. Full results can take weeks, but your lines will start improving in a few days. I'd skip the lip flip. And for those that are not familiar, a lip flip is a cosmetic procedure that uses Botox injections to create the appearance of fuller lips. I don't need that. All right. The next comment says, just did Botox for the first time because I'm turning 40 in a couple months. I could start noticing a tightening up of my forehead as of day 3, and I was super happy with it until my eyebrows started lowering a little. I got 44 units total, and frankly, I think it was too much. My follow-up is on Thursday, and I'm going to talk to my gal about what to do next to ensure the same thing doesn't happen to my brows. All right. Last one. I haven't tried a lip flip, but I get it around my eyes, forehead, and 11s. For those that don't know, 11s are vertical wrinkles that appear between the eyebrows. All right? They continue. Honestly, I didn't feel much different. If I focused, I could feel my forehead move less, but not really. The injections sting for a minute, but by the time I get to my car, I don't feel anything. Don't forget to stop taking things that make you bruise or bleed more beforehand. Some supplements like fish oil, etc. I had really slight bruising in one spot that was easily covered. You need to plan to not bend over or lay flat for at least 4 hours. I recommend taking before and after photos for yourself so you know the impacts of initial treatment and if you want more or less in the future. You should expect they will have you come in a couple of weeks after for a top off / check-in. All right, let's dig into it. Let's dig into it. First of all, can we start with the lip flip, please?
Girl.
Why is it?
Yeah.
First of all, lip flip.
Why is it called a lip flip?
I was thinking like, I mean, technically, if I do that, it do like my lips are fuller. If I try to flip my lips,
To me, when I heard it, I thought taking the bottom lip and making it look like, because you know the bottom lip is more full typically, so making that lip, putting it on top and putting the top lip on the bottom, flipping our lips.
my lips are full enough, honey. I just never heard that term, and I wouldn't think of getting Botox in my lips.
Yeah.
I can't even think of what it is, but I know that there's something else, an injection
A
that
lip filler.
women. Yeah, Lord, I can't imagine. I don't need nothing.
No, say thank you, Lord, that you don't have to do that.
Man,
I never understood when people say, "Oh, you don't have lips," until I saw it. Like, oh wow, like, cause I look at my lips, they're normal. I'm used to looking at these lips. I'm used to looking at my face, like, oh, I have a full this and full that. Until you see somebody with less, like I thought my butt was flat. Until I saw a flat butt, I was like, oh, I do got a little butt. So I thank God that I don't have to. That my lips are fine. And not to say that flat lips or little lips are not fine, but some people feel like they have to get the Kylie Jenner kit or something else to make their lips more plump. Or put people put lipstick on top up here to make it appear that they have fuller lip.
A little technique.
Yep.
I've definitely. I mean, shoot, I'd rather do that than getting my lips injected in and having them looking puffy and I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but to each their own. Everybody has their thing that they do.
That is true, because I still want to be able to talk at the end of the day. All right, so I do like the fact, though, that one of the comments recommended taking before and after photos, because Priscilla did mention that she'll start with the smallest dosage and just seeing, like, if you're getting the results that you want. So taking a before and after picture will definitely, like, help you see over time, like, if this is exactly what I want or if I need more to get the results that I need. Honestly, I'm not someone that has often, like, I've heard people say, like, stop scrunching your face. Like, you keep scrunching your face, it's going to get stuck like that. But now I understand what they mean. Like, over time, where you wrinkle up your face, you'll see the indentation in your face over time. So I'm like, I've never personally or started to see it on myself, and I honestly I've never recognized it in other people, but I do notice other lines on my face, like in regards to when I smile and then like me being tied around the eyes. I've noticed that too, but I never even really realized until it was mentioned about right here in between the brows,
Mm-hmm.
where people Botox right here. So I'm like, when you scrunching up your face
Yeah.
over time, your face gonna get stuck like that. Now I understand what my mama and grandmama was saying. It's gonna get, you better stop it.
Those things became noticeable to me because I had this girl in middle school. She used to always say that, like, "Oh, stop touching your face because you're gonna get like bumps and stuff, or stop scrunching your face. You're gonna get lines." She will say you're gonna get lines, and obviously there had to be an adult in her life that was saying it to her, but no one in my family was saying that to me. But you see how it's not just how you raise your child, it's the community too. So because she would say certain things, now I have these smile lines that's there. Like if you can
Mhm.
see, is all I'm not smiling, but there's a line there that my face has gotten. So I can't stop smiling. Like I can't stop. Like I'm just talking right now, and the lines are there. But yeah, those are things that come natural to us. So Priscilla's conversation with us has helped us understand the prevention or how Botox can help. For me, what stood out was I keep looking away, y'all. It's because I'm looking at the notes. um, the part where it's saying that going to an experienced practitioner with a good aesthetic eye. Please have a good eye. Please do not be tired when you're giving me Botox if I ever get it. Because like when I go to the people and they do my eyebrows, I'm like, yo, like how do you see here, right here in the middle of my eyebrow or on my eyelid that I never saw before? Like you really have a good eye to notice
Right.
that here. And then I look in the mirror after, like, oh my God, you did a great job. Like I didn't even notice that you plucking or threading these hairs that I didn't even know was there until you pulled it. And I said, that it was there. If you poke me with a needle, you got to have a good eye and be able to see what you're doing or understand it, and the practice too. Like have good practice and know what you're doing. And I like how Priscilla says starting with a smaller dosage, because I've read other stories and people were saying that they had too much a dosage, so they're gonna bring it up to their person before. Like don't do too much. Even if I feel like even if somebody comes in and said, "No, give me more, give me more." If it's your first time, don't do more. Like disclosure,
Right.
my eyebrows, I got microblading and I wanted it to be darker, fuller, bigger, like give me dramatic but not too dramatic. And the lady said, "No, I'm going to give you less," and she showed me what it could look like and I said, "Fine." I really wanted to say, "No, give me more." But I said, I'm just gonna listen to her, and my eyebrows look natural. They look great like this. I'm ready to go in for my second one, but I would just say for people I've never gotten Botox, but with anything, just go with whatever that person that's their profession, that's what they do. Listen to them. They know what they're talking about.
Right, exactly. Especially going in like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm the professional, so can you please let me recommend what I know would be best? About you trying to tell me what you want, I'm gonna give you what you need, not what you want. Smart, because I give you too much, and now you trying to sue me because something didn't happen to you. Now I don't think so, because
Yeah,
you
and
didn't like the outcome.
I think
Go
also,
ahead.
so I was saying to you privately, and I want to say it to the people, that I would prefer going to a doctor than just going to somebody who may just have experience, because with the part of the person saying being careful to not bend over, how you lay down, taking medications or things that may like rush your blood and things like that, I want to be able to say, okay, Priscilla, these are the medications that I'm taking, these are the vitamins that I've been using, like what should I not do or use, or is it okay to be intimate with my partner? Like, what should and shouldn't I be doing? Or I planned on going to Pilates later. Like let me know what I need to do because I don't want to mess anything up at all. So, like my eyebrows, going back to my eyebrows, when they told me do not wash your face for maybe like 2 days or 3 days, I didn't wash my face in that area for the whole week. Like I don't want to mess it up at all. I don't want anything to be on me that I messed up what you did or what I paid for, because it's expensive. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, especially with the Botox. Like that's medication, I think, right? That they're putting into you, and you don't want to be massaging it and messing it up and putting it in the wrong spot, or getting it like you're massaging up here your eyebrow, and then you getting it into your eye. Right, and it get into your eyelid, and your eyelid got a keloid on it because you massaged it wrong.
Oh Lord, please, I don't want no Lord Jesus.
A keloid on your eye.
Cause you done did something you wasn't supposed to do.
Right. Follow the instructions.
Listen to the professional.
Do not go to the steam room after you get Botox. Go to the beach laying in the sun.
Oh my God, you're not supposed to. Shit, Priscilla said we ain't supposed to be outside.
Outside. Maybe get it in the winter time.
Right, get it in the winter.
Oh man.
Oh gosh,
Let
whew,
me
that
see.
was funny. Yeah, last thing I need to be saying on my face is a droopy eyebrow. Could you imagine?
Mm-mm. Stop it.
Yeah, right.
But the thing that I love most is with just normalizing the conversation and tapping into it. Like before this conversation that we had with Priscilla, I never looked up people's comments or experiences with Botox. I've always just heard the negative and the eye rolling, nose up things that people have to say about people who get Botox. So let's continue to normalize anything that people do, whether you're getting Botox, you're getting microblading, you're getting eyelashes, you're getting wigs or injections or whatever the thing that you're doing. Let's mind our business. Let's stop.
Right, that part. Let
Let's
people do what they want to do.
judging people on what they want to do.
Right. If it ain't for
Right,
you, it ain't for you.
right, right. So Moni is not going to talk about y'all if y'all get a lip flip. She just don't want it for herself.
I do not. I don't think I need it. So yes. But if you want to flip that lip, go ahead and dip.
You're so silly. I don't have anything else.
Neither do I.
Okay, so
Oh
let's
man.
move on to our next segment.
Yes. Concluding and leading on into our announcement segment. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. Made it to the end of another episode. Hey, let's go. Made it to the end of another episode. Hey, let's go.
So, our first announcement, first of all, thank you, Priscilla, for coming on to our podcast. I think is this her third time?
I think it's our second time. Second.
I know
I
she
believe
came
second.
on with Kyle, but I feel
Yeah.
like it was another time. All right, well, thank you for coming on again, sharing your expertise with Botox. Like, who knew dentists are experienced with giving Botox? I wouldn't have thought that. So we learned something new, and we appreciate you for coming on and informing us and the listeners on different things that Botox can do. Because who knew if it weren't for
Who
you?
knew? And I'm looking forward to getting a little, handling these crow's feet and
Oh
showing
my
y'all my
gosh,
results. So when I show y'all the results, you can go ahead and leave a comment on social media. Follow
she's
us
so
on social
silly,
media
y'all.
and subscribe to our podcast. We're on all streaming platforms. This is the first time you've ever heard us and you tuned in. Whether you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or even YouTube. Okay? Go ahead and follow us on Instagram and subscribe to us on YouTube. And then share with a friend. Share with an auntie, cousin, uncle, grandma. We want everybody to tune in. So go ahead and subscribe, follow, and share. Okay? Period.
Yes. Yes, and when you leave a review on Spotify, I know for sure Spotify, but maybe the other platforms too, you can also give us a rating. So you can give us a 4-star, 5-star, 100 stars, however many stars are the max. Give that, but be honest, and then leave a comment
Yes.
because that helps people know if this podcast is something that they may enjoy. Some people have different tastes of what they like to listen to, so not every podcast is for everyone. So if you leave a review and a comment, maybe that may spark somebody's interest to follow us. So yeah, reviews matter.
Yes, reviews do matter. You can even let us know what you want to hear about. You got an icebreaker idea, hot topic idea, you know what I'm saying? Dorm story idea, please hit us up. Let us know. And when you hit us up, make sure you also head over to the website. That is www.loveloud.com, spelled LOVELOUDD. If you don't add the extra D, you're not going to be finding the right company. All right. So
Not
loveloud.com, you can
company.
find hey, you will not find you will find our previous written blogs that we have on the website. Our merch that's on the website: hoodies, sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts, our books. We do have books. We got 2 poetry books. We got a self-help book for the mental health. All right. So yes, make sure you head on over to the website and let us know what you think. Let the girls know that you are keeping up with what we do. Cool.
Let the men know.
Let everybody know. everybody know. Let everybody know. Because everybody in the
Yes.
club get coochie.
Oh my God.
Man, we all fam.
Oh my God. And this is how you could tell she works at a school.
I don't know how that relates to working at a school, but whatever. It is what it
Because
is.
you know all the sayings and stuff. Oh, we were eating something, and then my mom asked what Jordan thought about the food, and he said, "That's gas." I was like, "Gas?" And he's like,
Yes.
"Yeah, it means it's
You gas?
good." No,
Oh
like
my
instead
God.
of saying like that's fire, like they saying that's gas.
But I would have been thinking like it gives you gas. It reminds me when I told my mom that I didn't have gas on my stove. And then I let her know, like, oh, like now that I have gas. Opposed to me saying my gas, I called her and I was like, hey mom, I have gas. And she was like,
You better
she
get
was
some
like,
Tums.
right. She's basically like, well, I mean, you could take some gas pills for that. I'm like, no, mom, I mean, I have gas to cook my food. She was like, oh, I thought you told me you had gas. Or you got gas in your
Oh
house.
my God, context matters, y'all.
It really does. Whew. And the
Oh my
context,
God,
right? The show has come to an end.
it has. Thank you for listening to another episode of Truth Carpets podcast. And with that, stay black.
Stay proud. See
Out.
y'all in 2 weeks.